Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the GameFans podcast. This is number 11, and we're not at Gamescom, but this is our Gamescom podcast. We have myself, Ashley King, Mark Hearn, and Chris Chavez, who is doing a little bit of fill-in for us because Nick couldn't attend.
Hey guys, yeah, what's up?
We've got a great show for you today, and we're just going to jump right into it. You know, last week we talked about the Call of Duty Ghost event that went on. Both Mark and Chris went to that. So why don't you guys tell us a little bit about that event and how much you enjoyed it?
I will tell you all about that event and how much I enjoyed it.
Did we enjoy it? Did we enjoy it? I guess
Did you enjoy it? That's the question.
So here's the thing. Activision and Microsoft, I hate saying Xbox because Xbox isn't a company, it's a brand. But people always say, oh, Xbox and such.
But it was a Microsoft-sponsored event, right? Right.
And,
okay.
You know, they got together downtown Los Angeles. There's a section called LA Live. It's near the Staples Center where the Lakers play. And if you're not a basketball fan, we'll say where the Kings play hockey. Anywho, there's a venue there. They rented it out. They put up this huge Call of Duty tent. There's all kinds of awesome pictures on the site on Xbox One Daily about that. But basically, it was to unveil the multiplayer for Call of Duty Ghosts. And yeah, like you said, it's a co-branded event. Microsoft and Activision. Major Nelson was there. Met that dude. Shout out to him. He was actually not that tall in person, but that's a whole nother story. They sat us in. They brought us into the tent. Had a countdown going on. It was broadcasting on Xbox Live and Activision's website. And Chris, what happened from there?
They counted down and showed off the game.
And there was this, they showed off the game. I just wanted to put you on the spot. But basically, they counted down. They showed us the game, and then they had this hyped up celebrity fluff where all these celebs are talking about Call of Duty. And then they finally had the CEO of Activision come out, talked about it, and then he gave us the actual trailer backed by a track by Eminem.
Oh yeah, the debut of his song.
I've seen the trailer. That was an interesting trailer and an interesting choice of music.
I mean, I got hyped up. I'm not gonna lie.
We're sitting here all head bobbing and like bam.
Yeah,
bam.
I was like, whoa, like all jacked up on Mountain Dew. We were sitting next to the social manager for Monster.
Yeah, we're all head bobbing and feeling it, and it's like. One thing I give them props for is it wasn't the edited version. You know what I mean? They kept it uncut. It was like
they had all the
4-letter words in there. You know what I mean? So it was straight up. But I think the song's called Survival, if I can recall. And then after the video package rolled, a bunch of shots of Riley the dog mauling people and stuff. The CEO of Activision says this is Eminem's new song and he has something to say to you guys. So we're like, oh snap, Slim Shady's in the house, and now it was just a video. So he came out and said he's hyped about the game and all that stuff.
Were you super disappointed that he didn't walk out on stage?
I honestly thought he was going to come out.
Yeah, I was one to get my Marshall Mathers on, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
army fatigue.
Poor Mark.
I was like, oh snap, see Call of Duty get an Eminem show. Oh. No, it didn't happen. So. He gave us a little video message saying he's looking forward to the game, yada, yada, yada. And then they had a bunch of execs give us a talk through about, features and things like that, from the new weapons to the kill streaks to the removal of death streaks and to the new physics and things like that in the game. And then they had some Marine folks, real United States Marines, square off against some pro gamers. So that was pretty cool. And then they said, okay, pretty much wrapped it up and followed us to a games arena, and we got to play the game.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
This is what everyone's waiting for. How was the game?
I liked it. I'll say that. I'm not a big Call of Duty guy, but...
I have one question. Did they let you play around with the customization? Because I'm not a big Call of Duty person either, which I'm sure if you listen to the podcast, you know. But I was watching the presentation, and the actual soldier editing that you could do and creating your own, it's like you're actually creating a character that you play instead of a specific class. And that really seems interesting. Did they let you play around with that
but
at
I'll
all?
shamefully say I didn't really take advantage of it. I just wanted to shoot stuff.
Yeah, we just wanted to get in there.
Shoot stuff. And we had an interesting situation with recording.
Security. They were pretty anal about there was like specific things you couldn't.
So wait,
record.
it's a press event, but they monitored what you could record.
Well, you know,
well,
I said there was some mixed signals floating around definitely that day.
Yeah.
Because we start recording, then like this, you know, I don't want to be a jerk and call somebody a rent-a-cop, but the guy comes up all like, "Hey, you can't do that."
You just did. You just did.
I know, right? But the dude gets all mad. He's like, "Hey, you guys can't record that. You need to delete that now." And you signed a disclosure, and I'm like, "We didn't sign anything." And
dude sitting there going, "Wait,
yeah, he's going hard, like, oh, you know, he's at like a level 7. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it was like a miscommunication because the security wasn't Activision. Like the guy didn't work for Activision. He worked for LA Live. So like totally separate, you know, security. This guy's used to like throwing out, you know, punks that are dancing crazy or something.
Drunken party girls or whatever. Yes.
Yeah, white girls.
Hey, I didn't say that. So
white girl race.
Stricken from the record. I didn't say that. But yeah, so you know, after all that was settled and done, we actually got to play the game. And I just wanted to jump in and shoot stuff. I know that sounds really like I know that's a meathead move, but I wanted to just get a feel for the game. So I grabbed a few, you know, threw a loadout together and jumped in and played. And here's the thing. If you've played Call of Duty, you know what to expect. You're going to get what you expect. But I will say this, there were some improvements that were noticeable. Like the animations were more fluid. Climbing over stuff and maneuvering around obstacles was a lot. It was just improved. The environments were more interactive. The maps were big.
How did you feel about the new scope? Because I know it's a pre-rendered scope that actually lets you see your peripheral vision now.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. I don't think we scoped too much. Like we didn't actually use a sniper rifle or the class that had it, but I was talking to like some of my Call of Duty friends who, you know, I was sharing them with the video that we took and all that, and they were just like, that seems pretty darn awesome. It's like it seems like a very small improvement, but I think it's going to help a lot, like in the gameplay. It just looks cool. It looks so real, and you're looking through the scope, and you can still see, you know, like depth of field. Everything's fuzzy on the sides, but you can still see if someone's coming.
It's the little things that count.
Yeah, the little things. So I mean, they did like it, you know, bring some major improvements, like the whole vaulting over stuff and the parkour elements. That I thought was just the coolest thing. Like you could just keep running, and you don't have to worry about like navigating around boxes and stuff. It's just you just run, jump, hop right over the box, hop right out of a window. You know, like very, very little effort, and it looks so cool.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're going to have a lot of amazing YouTube knife kill videos for Call of Duty.
Pretty much.
Oh, gosh.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, they made some tweaks to some things. Like I said, they got rid of death streaks. Kill streaks have been tweaked around. The UAV is no more. There's a SATCOM, which is like a mobilized tracker. We've got video footage of it on Xbox One Daily. And, I mean, we don't want to harp on Call of Duty too much because there's a whole lot going on, and it is Gamescom time. So, you know, maybe we can shuffle along and get into some news.
Speaking of Gamescom, there's been a lot of news, especially for the Xbox One. Mark, if you want to take us from there.
Okay, so yesterday / probably the day before yesterday if you're in Germany. Yesterday still. There was 2 big press events. Microsoft and Sony had theirs, and we're just going to kick some things off. Microsoft started off the day, and they had a little heat going on. Fable Legends was announced. That was a game that was rumored to be in the works because some web domains were discovered and uncovered. So there was a short.
Wasn't there? I remember when the Xbox launched. Wasn't there like a Fable logo or something that said Legends on it? And
no.
No.
Was that Legends?
No.
I mean, I remember that.
I think it said Fable 4. There was like a Fable 4 and a fake banjo game floating around. That looked very suspect.
Microsoft went, oh god, they're onto us, guys. They know it's Fable 4. Let's name it something else.
Yeah, like I mean, even if then, like I'm sure they could change the name, and they're just like, well, we got to think of something cool to call it. So Legends.
So Fable Legends was announced. It has kind of like an MMORPG feel, to whereas up to 4-player co-op. It's online only, is my understanding, and basically it's like this: say the 3 of us and generic computer character go through the game together. It takes place about 400 years before the original Fable game that came on the first Xbox, and you're going through. You level up your guy, you build him up, but there's human controlled villains, they have like an overview of the map, so they can kind of throw things in your path, like enemies and traps and bad hoodoo magic.
That sounds kind of like the director from Left 4 Dead 2. Like, the way the AI works in Left 4 Dead 2 is it decides where you are in the map and what to throw at you, except you said it's human control.
Yeah, so, it's not quite Skynet. It's more like man-powered. But, yeah, so they announced that. It had a cool art style going on. It was an interesting-looking game.
It looked awesome. I mean, it was just a trailer, so everything was pre-rendered, but if they can achieve that kind of visual style, because Fable, I've never been, like, a big fan of, like, Fable's visuals. It looked like it could be cool if they just added more, as they try to do more with it. And then Legends, this whole trailer, if they can just get that near that, oh my god.
Yeah, it had a real
really
funky
cool
art style, but I mean that in a good way. And there's no release date, of course. It's just 2014. So maybe they do have enough time to put a spit polish on it. We'll get that cool look that we're looking for. But
I will say that I'm interested in Fable Legends only because I've followed the series since the beginning, and it's definitely had its ups and downs. I think Fable 3 was the worst game of the series, and I haven't even played the On Rails Connect game, but from what I've seen of Legends, it definitely looks cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, keeping everything going, as I like to say. Killer Instinct got its pricing revealed, and
I'm just going to throw this out there. I was actually pleased with Microsoft because of the bundle that they did, and I'm going to let you tell us about that, but that's
okay,
great.
So there's 3 formats you can get in. As you already know, you can buy characters a la carte or a la carte, depending on how you want to say that. And characters are gonna run $5 a pop, with Jago being free. So that's how you can do that.
They give you the worst character for free always.
Of course.
Jago's the right user. I don't think he's the worst.
Jago's the worst. He's the worst.
He's got fireballs. He's got Shoryuken.
It's like
he's the worst.
It's like, hey, it's Street Fighter. You get douse them. You know what I mean?
Okay, that would be like a slap in the face, like E Honda or something.
Well, E Honda's pretty tight if you know how to use them. But
I mean, all of them are tight if you know how to use them. Like I've seen people rock it with like Dan and stuff, but
yeah. So they've got the free to play version where you can just play with Jago by itself. It's technically, I guess, 4 variants. Free to play, where it's just the Jago show. That's it. And then there's you can actually buy characters for $5 a pop, or there's a $20 bundle, which is called like the Combo Breaker, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, that's the Combo Breaker.
Combo Breaker.
That was awesome.
There you go.
So awesome. They've got that version, and it's 20 bones. Gives you all the characters, and you get
awesome.
Get all the stages.
I don't think it gives you all the characters, does it? It only gives you like 3 or 4.
No. It gives you all characters, and I'm going to spoil this for everyone. So far, there's only 8 characters announced, but you get all the characters, and it's $20. It's not bad. $20, and you get all the stages. Then, for those,
what's the Ultra bundle? That's the exciting
for those
one.
who wish to indulge. For $40, you get every character, all kinds of fancy smancy accessories and clothes and costumes. And you get, all the levels and things like that.
That gives you a bit of future DLC too, doesn't it? Doesn't it give you 2 characters that haven't released yet?
Yeah, here's the thing. There's 2 characters that haven't released. I just want to clear this up. I believe both the $20 one and the $40 one are one and the same as far as how many characters you get. Because there's only 8 characters in the game that have been announced at this time. But the real kicker with the $40 bundle is this: you get the original Killer Instinct game.
I mean, I have the original on my Android device. Right now,
but it doesn't.
I have the original NES black cartridge sitting around here somewhere.
So you get the OG game. Unfortunately, there's no multiplayer for it. They said that they're trying to work on that though, so who knows? It might happen.
Multiplayer? Oh.
Wait.
What? For the original?
Yeah, they said they're trying to work on that, so who knows? I mean,
Microsoft, you're trying to win my heart.
So that would be incredible.
That would be crazy. That'd be crazy awesome.
Yeah, crazy like a fox, but
that would be really tight.
But yeah, so that's coming out on day 1. Those are your options. You got to live with them. But they're saying that it's going to be done in like a seasonal type thing. Like this is like season 1. So they kind of alluded to that there's going to be like another season / chapter where people are thinking that they're going to probably introduce more characters. So
yeah, they have to. I mean, eight's fine. I'm cool with 8. I mean, the original Street Fighter World Warrior that had like 8 characters.
and keep in mind, 8 characters for $20. It's really not that bad.
Exactly. Like that's a dang good deal. And that pricing alone, I mean, this is a next gen game. It looks freaking phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's
a good looking fighting game, and it's $20. So I mean, if you break yourself spending $500 on an Xbox, $20, $20 more, but you got a game.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer for sure. Like especially for the Xbox, like you're gonna have Call of Duty multiplayer stuff online, whatever, and then you're gonna need another game for like when the friends come over. And Killer Instinct for $20, 8 fighters, easy choice.
So transitioning from this, you mentioned Call of Duty, and I got to do a little backtrack. And I know as gamers we hate to backtrack, but I got to do that. Call of Duty will have dedicated servers for the Xbox One. That was another big announcement during Microsoft's Gamescom segment. They're going to have dedicated servers. They confirmed this. It has not been confirmed for any other console platform at this time, so it looks like it might be an exclusive thing to the Xbox One version of the game. So that was.
I mean, that's what Xbox does best. So I mean,
yeah,
their online multiplayer stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, those who have been hissing and moaning about that, you got it. You just got to play on the Xbox at this time. Keeping, I know that was kind of mean, but another thing, there was this crazy Dead Rising 3 trailer going on. Crazy trailer. Did you guys see that?
I have not seen it, but from what I understand, the Dead Rising series has kind of pulled a Saints Row 4 and gone just like completely off the wall.
When has it been? When has it ever been on the wall?
The first one was semi-serious. I mean, Frank West, and I mean, yeah, you could put on Lego hats and beat zombies with baseball bats and lawnmowers and things, but the second one was a little bit more off the wall, and it feels like they're just continuing that trend.
Yeah, this is balls crazy, but
I love the Dead Rising series. I just want to put that out. It's like one of my favorite series, and like I don't know how well it does sales wise. I feel like every time it comes out, it kind of just flopped, and the original didn't really do too well.
I don't know
either.
that it is a flop though, because Capcom is pretty much known to drop their flops, and they're continuing with Dead Rising 3. So
they keep pushing it. Well, I'm happy with that.
Well, here's the dealio with this one. This is crazy video. It's a video rendered trailer. But it is like an in-game video render. It's not like it's a movie-made render, if that makes sense. This is what you're going to see when you see cutscenes. But basically, the main character, his last name is Ramos. Why am I not remembering his first name? But we'll just say Mr. Ramos.
Chicano.
Yeah, he's going through town, and there's cars colliding, and a whole lot of swearing, and a whole lot of blood. So I mean, it's really awesome. This game has guilty pleasure written all over it. I want to pick it up on launch day. I plan on getting it.
Did you guys go to the like what was it? The behind the doors demo that they did at E3 for it?
I didn't go to the demo, but I saw the event where they had the fence around and all the zombies were in there shuffling around, and if you got too close to the fence, they would grab you.
Yeah, that was awesome. I actually went into the like behind the doors thing where they were showing off. Like they played, I think it was like 15-20 minutes of like the first level, and it was freaking awesome. The game looks so good.
Yeah, and
so good.
It has a real next gen feel because there's so much going on at the same time. It's not like it's not your token zombie game where you shoot a guy in the head, he explodes, and then he disappears, or turns into a ham for a power up. He there's so much stuff going on, and you can craft so many different weapon combos there. And this just looks really sick. So
yeah, I will say that I hope it is better than Dead Rising because I hate that game.
Dead Rising.
I mean, Dead Island, not Dead Rising. There's too many Deads.
I hope Dead Rising is better than Dead Rising because I hate Dead Rising.
Walking.
Dead Island was horrible. I hated it.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I played the first one. I didn't ever actually beat it, but it seemed fun.
Dead Island hooked a lot of people in with that trailer.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the trailer was so emotional. And you're like, oh, this is going to be a zombie game with a great narrative. And then you get in there, and it's like the worst game. Whatever.
There wasn't much story going on. Yeah, it was like a first person.
It felt like a bait and switch.
Yes. So yeah, this trailer looks awesome. Dead Rising. I think we can all agree that Dead Rising 3 looks interesting. I think it looks awesome. But, we got to win some people over and see what happens with that one. And keeping the train going on, Titanfall. You saw more of that. EA had a segment, and I know that's not Microsoft's show, but Titanfall is coming to the Xbox One and Xbox 360, so we're going to keep that under that same umbrella. It looked amazing. This game, if you don't want to play this game, something is wrong with you. It looked amazing.
Mark is showing his fanboy colors here.
It's not even that. It's just I don't care if you play it on the PC. I don't care what you play it on. If you like, and I'll specify, if you like shooters. If you don't like shooters, it's not for you. I understand that, and I can respect that. But this game looks awesome. Did you guys see the trailer? Please tell me you saw the trailer. If you didn't...
I did see the trailer, and I will say that I enjoyed what I saw, and I'm looking forward to playing it.
I was about to say, because if you didn't, we need to press pause.
You were going to yell at me, weren't you?
No, we were going to just press pause. You were going to watch it, and then we were going to resume. That's what we were going to... But yeah, it looked awesome. No idea when the game's coming out. We just know next year. And Respawn looks like they're really over there toiling and working on it. So it looked really cool. But, I mean, in a nutshell, that's what Microsoft had to show. No release date.
Sounds like a pretty solid showing for Microsoft.
Yeah, no release date. Oh yeah, one more little tidbit. If you upgrade, there are certain games that they're offering to upgrade on. They've got a lot of developers signed up for that. Like games like Call of Duty, Madden 25, Battlefield 4, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, NBA 2K14.
Basically, it sounds almost like every significant game that's going to release on this gen and next gen will have an upgrade offer.
Yeah, and the setup is like this. A lot of retailers are getting in on it. I know Amazon's in on it, GameStop's in on it. You buy the old, I don't want to say old game, but you buy the current gen version of that game, and you trade it in, and they give you a $50 credit towards its next gen variant. So
wait, you only have to pay $10 to get the next gen game.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No,
it's crazy.
Effing way. Okay, now that's a significant discount. Not like this other crap, but
yeah,
what? Really?
Yeah. So
speaking of significant discounts,
yeah, let's move into that.
Sony had their PlayStation 4 and Vita conference at Gamescom, and I watched it, and I have to say, whoever they had doing the cameraman, the director for the cameraman was
awesome.
the worst.
He was
it
going
was
for
terrible.
Cinematic, edgy. I don't know what he was trying to do.
Any time that there was gameplay on the screen that you wanted to see as a gamer, he showed you the audience, and you're like, no, I don't want to see them. But no, you got to see the audience.
That was so cool.
So, Chris, you want to take us into what happened during the conference, aside from the terrible camera work?
Yeah, the camera work was great. I thought that was that was awesome. But Sony finally announced the PS4 release date. Coming on November 15th for $400, and so they're first out of the gate with like an official solid date.
We're gonna have to see if Microsoft tries to one up them and come out like 2 weeks earlier, or
I feel like that's the only reason why Microsoft hasn't announced.
I think that was such a strategic move on Sony's part. Like, hey, we're gonna plan our new console in the middle of the month that our main competition said theirs is coming out. So either way, they can't, you know what I mean? They can't dodge us. They have to deal with us. It was like, hey, we're going to come out. No, I mean, think about it. I think
right in the middle, too. Not the beginning.
Yeah,
not
right
in,
dead
later,
center.
Right in the middle.
Dead center. So, I mean, it was a pretty strong move on their part.
For sure. But I don't know. I think that's a good date. I would have liked to have seen it a little bit earlier. I already have mine pre-ordered and paid off and everything. So
Yep, I'm excited and ready for mine. I'm glad to have a date finally.
Yeah, I was just thinking they were going to go late October. But they're taking the fight to Microsoft on that. So we'll see how that goes. I mean,
who knows? Maybe Microsoft will pull another 180 and just you know what? October. It's October now. We're coming out on October. October 15th.
I doubt it. I think they might. I think they might. They might. I want to try to keep this appropriate. They might. We'll just say man up. We'll just say man up. They might man up, and maybe they'll say, hey, we're coming out on the 15th too.
There's no way they'll go head to head. I don't. Yeah, I'll put money on it right now.
The streets would,
I love to put money on stuff, and I'll put money on it that Microsoft is going.
The streets would be littered with fanboy blood if that happened.
Like that would be scary. Can you imagine? Yeah, both sides. Like,
dude, there'd be so much.
The Jets versus whoever.
It's like riot. That's riot gear. That's riot gear time if you go pick up your console. Because
2 lines, you have to separate people with like a fence. That'd be crazy.
That'd be awesome.
I feel sorry for anyone who works at a GameStop.
That would be so cool. Yeah, people be clocking in overtime hours, and it just wouldn't be safe. It wouldn't be safe.
I'm thinking we're probably gonna get an earlier release because they still want to beat them to the punch, even if it's by like a 10-day period or something like that.
Yeah, that's...
So the release date was a pretty big announcement, but they made some other announcements too.
Yeah, they're going hard with the whole indie stuff. At E3, we saw a bunch of indie games and all their plans with partnering with all these indie developers. And I mean, I love indie games as much as the next guy, probably more because I mean, all these games that come out, all these big blockbuster titles, those are all cool and dandy. But sometimes when I just have about 10 minutes to kill, I want to just pop something in really quick and play some indie games. And all these ones that are coming out for the PC, I think there's a lot of them that have come out for the PC and on Steam.
Yeah,
and all
most of them are on PC, and I own most of them on PC because I follow the indie gaming scene really heavily. And I'm gonna say that I was interested in Sony showing their partnerships with these indie studios and getting these games on PS4 so that they have a little bit wider audience for people that maybe don't game on PC. But I also felt like they didn't really show anything beyond their tried and true tested IPs. I mean, they had Infamous and Killzone, and that's pretty much all I remember.
Yep. I guess I got to be Captain Killjoy over here.
Oh, gosh. There we go. There we go.
Mark's like, yeah, I got to chime in. I got some things to say. Here they are.
Here's the dealio. Just like Ashley said, they showed us Killzone. They showed us Infamous. And
which looks great. Both, I just want to say, like
they
Infamous
do look great.
But here's my beef with that.
Second Son.
You showed us that in February.
Yeah.
And wait. You showed it in February. You showed it in June. Now it's August. Why are you showing us the same games over and over? Don't you have anything else to show?
I was surprised that we didn't see any of Knack. Honestly, I mean they were touting that hugely at E3, like, oh, Knack's gonna be great. It's a great platformer for the family. And then here's Gamescom,
but
there's no Knack.
But there's more to it. Here's another thing.
Europeans don't care.
Indie games are all good. I love indie games. I do. I mean that. I'm not just saying that. But I know, like I said, I've tweeted this earlier today, so I'm just retweeting myself live for you guys to hear. But here's the deal. I know we're in an age of internet underground hipsters and all that stuff, and it's cool to be anti-mainstream and all that, but sometimes you got to make it a blockbuster night, and you gotta big games are still important. And it's funny how the culture changes, because back in the good old days of PS2 versus Xbox and Dreamcast and all that stuff, oh, the PlayStation 2 has Grand Theft Auto, God of War, Devil May Cry. And it's like, we threw Metal Gear Solid, all these huge names that made this brand a household name. And now I get it. You're trying to be modern and be hip and go with the times. But let's just face it. A lot of those games look like iOS games. A lot of those games, and you're going to sit up, and they sat up there and said, the PlayStation is the most powerful game console ever made. You know what?
Prove it.
Show it. I mean, let's just be real. You guys saw the games, and I'm not saying graphics make everything. I'm not saying that, because that's not true. Because a great company like Rockstar, that like the old GTA games, they're legendary, and they weren't pretty when they first came out. You know what I mean? They weren't. But my thing is, you're gonna build this thing as this massive beastly console. You better give it some room or get out of its way. And you show me games that can run on a Nexus 7. I was disappointed. I was very underwhelmed by it. And then the awful camera work was just like the cherry on top.
That was cool. That guy's got to be fun.
That guy was a spy for Microsoft. Let me start an internet rumor. Microsoft hired the camera guy.
Paid him off.
They paid him off with Microsoft points. He better use them before they expire.
Yeah, he doesn't have much time.
Moving on from the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation Vita actually got a little bit of love too at this conference, which was surprisingly a little bit lacking at E3.
Yeah, I mean, they still can't really. I mean, the new Killzone's coming out for it and stuff, but it's the Vita. Sony really needs to go hard with it, and
go hard or go home.
Yeah, and it's just, it hasn't been selling well, and people that have bought it have already sold it or gotten rid of it because there's just total lack of games. But now they're hoping to entice more new customers with the price drop. It's dropped to $199, and that's even the 3G model. So the 3G model that has a little SIM card you can pop in. That comes also. GameStop has the Walking Dead version, also $199. So a pretty big price drop. That's kind of nice.
I think they're phasing that 3G model out, kind of like how they've been talking about Nintendo doing with the white version of the Wii U.
Yeah, it sounds like a clearance deal.
Yeah, that's fire sale stuff there. You start dropping it down.
Because the Wi-Fi version is still $199 as well. So
yeah,
they're once these have been phased out or whatever, they finally sold off all their stock. I doubt we'll see that come back.
Now, if Sony really believes in this platform, maybe we'll get an LTE version somewhere down the road. But that's just wishful thinking.
I will say that the biggest thing from that announcement that I was excited about was the guy came on stage and he was saying, yeah, we're going to price drop the Vita. We're going to put a substantial discount, or no, a significant discount on the memory cards. And I was like, oh, great. The 32 gigabyte card's not going to cost $90 anymore.
I leaped to Amazon. I was ready to buy. They're saying,
guess how much it cost? It's not $90. It's $80.
That's ridiculous.
A significant discount to Sony is $10.
Then let me tell you something. Then I leave significant tips because if your service is good, I'll leave you $10. If I go to a restaurant and the food is good and the service is good, I'll leave you $10.
Mark, you're a significant tipper.
There you go.
You are a significant tipper.
I'm picking on the 32 gigabyte price.
I am Mark the significant gamer.
The 4 gigabyte, the 8 gigabyte, and the 16 gigabyte version did get a little bit more of a price cut. The only reason I rag on the 32 gigabyte is because so many games that you get on Vita, you download, and I hate having to change out memory cards. And that's
it's just ridiculous.
The reason I bought a 32 gigabyte SD for my 3DS. And do you know how much I paid for that? $20.
I understand that Sony, they have, the biggest profit margins off of accessories and stuff and marking them up and, making all this money off of it. But I don't see how they don't see that it's going to hurt downloads in the end. Right now I'm maxed out just on my PlayStation Plus downloads and my Vita's already maxed out. I think I have the 16 gigabyte.
See, yeah, you have that's a decent sized card. Like that's the second highest card they made.
You guys are better than me. I've got a 4 gig card.
I had a 4 gig card and filled it up almost immediately.
And I'm rocking a 4 gigger right here. It came with I bought my Vita from Target, and as a bonus they gave you a 4 gig card. And I looked at the prices of the other memory cards. I said I refuse to buy those right now. I'm gonna sit this one out and wait. And I did that. I managed to do that with the original PSP with the Memory Stick Duo, and they eventually dropped the price. But another thing about that, they had a partnership with like SanDisk or something like that, because they had like knockoff memory cards for the PSP. With the Vita, you don't have any of that. It's just buy our memory or run out of space.
Do they have it? Because that's what I was going to look into. I was going to look into getting a micro SD and then buying an adapter to put in the Vita.
The memory card for the Vita is actually too small to fit an adapter.
It's super proprietary.
They might be able to fit a Nano,
Mega?
maybe.
I got to look into that because there's got to be a way. I know, like when the one before the Vita, the PS Portal, PSP. I had that one and I had an adapter for it.
I had an adapter too. Yeah,
4 gigs or something ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. They had a bunch of workarounds and third-party solutions, but I don't know if it's like Sony's like, yo, if you copy our memory cards, we will sue you to hell.
I think it's them trying to help curb piracy, but it's also like Chris said that they're trying to get a control on their platform and make a little bit of profit on accessories. But this seems almost like highway robbery.
Yeah,
at $199, they're not making any profit off of the Vita.
$199 on the machine, and then if you want the top of the line video card or memory card, you have to plop down almost another $100.
You know what? I'd like to poll the listeners. This is something I do. If you are listening to this, no matter which outlet you're listening to, I don't care if you listen to it on iTunes. You're just write it in the review section. Do you own the 32 gig memory card? just say, yeah, I got it. No, I don't. Just let us know, because it's crazy. I refuse to buy it. If my wife bought me one of these as a gift, I would make her take it back.
But you spent way too much money.
Exactly. So yeah.
Speaking of someone who does memory cards right, we're going to move on to Nintendo. The sales for Japan were released this week, and I was actually surprised that all of the top 10 games were from Nintendo. Now, 9 of them were 3DS games, and 1 of them was a Wii U title. And Mark, I'm sure you can guess which one it is.
Splinter Cell, Black. No, I'm just playing Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3.
Pikmin 3, yes. So, Japan apparently loves Pikmin 3, and of course we know that they love their 3DS.
It's crazy. It's just so nuts to see how different, I guess, like Japanese gamers are from like American gamers.
Well, you see, I was walking around E3 and I would see all these Japanese girls walking around with their pink 3DSs and their little charms hanging off of them, and I was like, wow, like seriously, like that's their 3DS is almost as important to them as their smartphone.
Well, you know what? That 3DS has it has like a huge like install base, but it's just like there's such a loyalty to that platform, dude.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to.
We saw 3DS at the Call of Duty event. Like, I saw like at least 5 of them. People were waiting in line. Yeah. People were waiting outside or hanging outside.
Well, they do that because Nintendo encourages you to take it with you because of Street Pass, which is, I mean, the PS Vita has Home, but really, who understands that? I don't. I don't know how that works.
Oh, no, you mean near. You said home.
Near, yeah. That's I have no idea how it works. Yeah, but it's supposed to be the same thing.
But I mean, we're at a Call of Duty event. This is a shooter. This is so American.
They want those street passes.
Trust me, they do. My girlfriend and her friends, they bring the DS everywhere.
Like, look, you walked with me around E3. I have my 3DS in my bag getting street passes.
Yeah, everyone's collecting those. It's a crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, they're doing it right. They're definitely doing it right over there at Nintendo when it comes to the handhelds because, like I said, I see 3DSs everywhere, and I think I've seen a Vita in the wild like 2 times.
Yeah, I can literally say I've never seen anybody else like with a Vita like anywhere at the store, at wherever I go.
Nick had his Vita at E3, but that's kind of understandable.
Yeah,
he has that inserted into his.
I didn't say that. That's going to be my new line. I didn't say that. So.
Moving on, but still in Japan, only 30,000 copies of The Wonderful 101 are going to be available at launch in Japan, which is surprising considering the Pikmin 3 during its 2 days of launch sold 90,000 copies.
Why is that though? Why are they only having?
Because they want people to fight to the death for this game, Chris. Duh.
They haven't
battle royale style.
They haven't said why there's only 30,000 copies, but I have a feeling that it's more tailored to Western audiences, and they want to have that available for Europe and North America.
Nintendo tortures its Japanese customers, man. I remember.
Because they take it.
Yeah, I remember about like maybe 8 months back, they had a special edition Charizard like 3DS that came out or something like that. And you know how you can get this thing? You'd have to like enter a contest where you like write an essay why you're worthy of getting it. I'm not making this up. Yeah. Then if you get selected, you get a ticket from a Nintendo store where you enter a raffle for the privilege to buy it, not to win it, to buy it. So it's like that's how they get down over there, I guess. And I mean, I love my Japanese people, but I just Nintendo they torture those folks over there. I don't get it. People are going to be black marketing kidneys to get like this game. It's crazy.
They know how to. I mean, they know exactly how far they can twist their customers' arms before they'll just
Speaking of the Wonderful 101, it's releasing on September 15th for North America, but PAX Prime's coming up, and that's another big game show. It's happening in Seattle. And if you're attending PAX Prime, Nintendo will have a store where attendees can purchase copies of The Wonderful 101 2 weeks early.
Shut up.
I guarantee.
So if you're really excited about that, then get someone who's going to PAX to buy it for you.
I'm willing to tell you, if the game had the same release date in Japan, you'd have people from Japan flying down to buy that game.
Yeah, it's coming out August 23rd in Japan. So
Chris is booking a flight right now. Like, how do I get to Washington right now?
I know friends that are going to PAX. They go every year. So now I'm like gonna have to PayPal somebody some money.
Chris and I played it when it was Project P100 at last year's E3, and it looked really fun.
It was so much fun, and it's Beautiful Joe devs. So like,
yeah, Platinum Games.
oh my gosh, it's just those games are just they're the funnest. They really are. They know how to bring it, and I'm excited for that one. My Wii U needs some love. I don't think I even bought any games for it yet, other than Nintendo Land or something. But
for those of you that don't have a Wii U yet, but you're excited about it and maybe want to get one, we've got more evidence that a Wind Waker HD bundle is coming in the form of a screenshot from a Target SKU screen, meaning that Target does have an SKU for a Wind Waker HD bundle. The only thing that we know that it includes is a 32GB Wii U and a copy of Wind Waker HD. We don't know if it's any kind of special colors. I know people on Wii U Daily were like, oh, it's going to be a gold one. We're going to get a gold Wii U.
I want it to be green.
That's not been announced. It could just be a black 32GB. And
that doesn't sound.
That would be so generic. Yeah, that'd be so horrible.
Yeah, that doesn't sound deluxe enough to me.
I expect Nintendo to ham it up, but I don't know if it'll be gold.
I need it to be gold, and I need it to have an inscription from Miyamoto. That's what I need. If not, I will not buy it.
Elvish.
Getting a little picky there, aren't we?
Yep. I need a plastic Master Sword and bundled in too. If not, I'm not buying it.
A little hat. You need a little green hat.
A tunic. I need a green tunic. Yeah.
There's currently 2 sales going on the 3DS eShop for those of you that have a 3DS. Atlas is offering $10 off 3 of their games until August 31st. That includes Code of Princess, Etrian Odyssey 4, which I have played and is a good game, and Soul Hackers. I have not played Soul Hackers or Code of Princess, so I can't vouch for those. Ubisoft is also offering a 30% discount on 3DS titles until August 27th. And that includes titles like Ghost Recon Shadow War, Splinter Cell 3D, Rayman Origins, Rayman 3D, Rabbids Travel in Time 3D, and Pets Fantasy 3D, which I'm not sure anyone would be interested in.
Pets!
Those are the deals. I mean, Nintendo and their publishers seem to offer a lot of deals for 3DS. I constantly get messages saying, oh, this game's on sale, you should buy it. They need to do that with Wii U.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, I'm not saying Wii U doesn't have sales, because it does, but
I want to see some fire sales. I want to see some Steam, download this for a ridiculous price type sale, and then I'll go nuts. I'll download everything. But
if Nintendo came out and was like, all right, Lego City Undercover, $20, I'd be like, holy crap, you need to go buy a Wii U right now. That's a great game. $20. It's amazing.
It's true.
So now that we've seen what's come out of Gamescom and everything that Microsoft and Sony have offered, we don't have their consoles in hand yet. What are your guys' thoughts? What do you think?
I'd love to speak. So
go ahead. I'm giving you the floor.
No, so here's the thing. Everyone, this is like the second biggest. Well, this is the next big show in games following E3. A lot of people said, Sony won E3, and I agree with that, hands down. Sony won E3, but if you're going to go back to the battle of Sony versus Microsoft, Microsoft versus Sony, I say the score is knotted up 1-1 because I just didn't see anything that impressed me, and then the horrible camera work really.
I will say from just watching the conference and seeing the camera work, I was like, oh my god, seriously? Can you not hire someone more professional to do this?
But in addition to that, one there's a couple tidbits we left out for the Sony event that made the event even worse, in my opinion. We're going to have a Gran Turismo movie.
I forgot about that.
We're getting a Gran Turismo movie.
I
remember commenting to you that I would rather watch a Halo TV series than a Gran Turismo movie.
I would rather watch a Meat Boy. I'd rather watch. Do we really want that?
Meat Boy.
Well, I have to ask you. I mean, I'm not a big racing fan player. So, what story does Gran Turismo have?
It has no story.
Exactly. I mean, I've seen my roommate play it because he has Gran Turismo 5 and he's really into racing and stuff. And I'm sitting there watching him play it.
I guess the whole object of the movie, whether it be an actual biopic type thing or I don't know how they're even going to shoot this, but I guess the objective is to get licenses. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is really. Just they're trying to buy the name, and it's like, what was it, that Battleship movie that came out last summer?
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Had nothing to do with Battleship, but somewhere
it's
in the movie
it's gonna be like
you sank my battleship.
They're gonna get Vin Diesel being in it. Everybody's gonna think it's a new Fast and Furious movie. You know what I mean?
Exactly, Gran Turismo.
But yeah, they did. There was that, And the cherry, the second cherry on top for me, and everybody's like, dang, this guy's just hating on Sony right now. But the second cherry on top for me was Watch Dogs, the movie.
Oh yeah, they're doing another movie.
I have mixed feelings on that because I'm excited about the game, but I want you to make a good game before you start trying to turn it into a movie.
But it's like, dude, most movies based on games suck, like 95% of the time. But you're gonna give me a movie almost in tandem with the game's release? That makes me wonder, was there like some kind of deal going on where it was like, hey, you give us DLC, we'll do your movie? I'm like, what was going on with that? Yeah, so you're giving us a movie and game release in tandem practically or shortly in proximity, and it just let the focus on the damn game. Like they have this special edition of Watch Dogs. We talked about that a few episodes ago. It's like, do new IPs really deserve all this? I don't think so. Prove yourself.
I definitely agree with you. I think it's too soon to be releasing movies. Even for Gran Turismo 6, like, is it suddenly going to have a story? You're going to be this rogue guy stealing cars, and then you go to the racetrack and race them? Like, what the hell?
Like you said, Dead Island really sucked in your opinion and disappointed you, but at least a Dead Island movie makes sense. You know what I mean? But
I mean, yeah, if you want 2 hours of someone bashing zombies in the face with a baseball bat, sure.
I do.
But yeah, so I mean, you know, enough bruising on Sony. You get my point, or you get my opinion rather. I just didn't see anything that really wowed me or that elevated gaming. Microsoft said dedicated service for Call of Duty. Whether you love or hate Call of Duty, that's a move. That's a step forward. Exclusive content was announced. New games were unveiled. And the new next-gen games were unveiled. These are steps forward. You know what I mean? The only thing that Sony really did...
They showed off the new UI. The new UI.
Well, yeah, but okay. You know, they show that. I'll give them that. But there was also the giving the street date. That was a big deal. And taking a cheap jab at Microsoft in your press conference. And that felt like a really overplayed joke. We get it. They screwed up. Move on. The internet's moved on now. You should move on too. It was just so like we're holding our course, not like some people wait for the applause.
We're moving on too.
Yeah, so it's just Ashley.
I know it makes you so mad, but I want to give a shout out to Sharif Jackson on Twitter, who's tweeted us, all three of us. I'm sorry, Chris, you weren't included on this.
He don't know you, Chris. He don't know you.
He said nice podcast, and we want to thank him for that. I have a question for you guys. This occurred to me because I pre-ordered a game, and the game got mediocre reviews. I've only played about an hour of it myself, and that's the Bureau XCOM Declassified. Has a review score ever affected your anticipation of a game?
No.
No, absolutely not.
And I say, well, you know what? Not a single one, but if it's like just horrible all around, like Resident Evil 6 horrible, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't have a loyal brand where it's like, oh, IGN gave it a 9. It's the bee's knees. No, I don't do that. You know, if I want to play a game, like this. I bought Resident Evil 6. That should tell you it doesn't affect me.
So here's what I'm asking. If you're really excited about a game and then IGN gives it a 5, do you get less excited about it?
No.
So you don't let their opinion color your own?
No, I do not.
How about you, Chris?
It's like you're getting an opinion from a friend, and I have, opinions. I ask my friends all the time when they get a game, like, oh, how do you like it? And then you take it with a grain of salt, and you see what their criticisms are, why they didn't like it, and if it's because of what had, like, oh, it has a weak plot or something. You know what? I don't care about plots. I just want to shoot some aliens in the face. Then that's kind of how I see it. It's just a general idea, and it's just one person's opinion on something. So yeah,
it's always interesting to me to see how the internet blows up over review scores.
Well, look at The Last of Us.
Oh, I know. When it came out, I think Polygon gave it a 7, and everyone just
wet the bed.
Got extremely angry.
And I feel like it's a 7. I feel like The Last of Us was like a 7 or 8, maybe like 8.5. I thought it was a good.
I think it was a
great game,
awesome game.
I'm in the camp with Mark. I was with Chris when I first started. I was like, all right, this is starting out kind of slow. And then the more I played it, the more I got invested in the story. By the time it was over, I was like, oh my god, Wow.
By the time the credits were rolling, the tears were rolling with them.
You were sobbing.
Like,
no, it is that game was all about the story. I mean, the atmosphere, the story, good graphics, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, scores shouldn't matter. If you want to play a game, play the game. I mean, and just know what you're getting into. But I mean,
I wish the whole internet subscribed to what you just said, Mark. A score shouldn't matter.
Score should. I mean, it does though. It does. It's a good.
It does matter.
It's a barometer.
People will stay up at embargo dates. They know that a review for a game goes up at midnight. They'll stay up to read that review.
Cheese and rice. I mean, I use it like it's so weird. I like to see it, and it's like, oh, that's one person's review. Then I'll see another one that maybe gave it the same. And I'm like, oh, it's looking like this game might not be as good as I thought it was. But if I read one review where somebody liked it, I'm like, oh, okay, I can see now maybe it's just not the type of game for one kind of person, and I'll give it a shot still. But I mean, it can kind of kill the buzz, I guess, if you see like a really bad review. If everyone's giving it one star, it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, but the only way it's kind of like what you said about your friends. Like if I have two best friends, one's like really into gaming, one not so much. I think, but if my best friend says like, oh man, like Splinter Cell Blacklist, it's just, I don't know, man. If he just said, that's where I get a little concerned. But because
So you're saying that you accept the authority of people who are invested in gaming,
who I know and love, yes,
who you trust.
Okay. Some random dude in the office in New York City or San Francisco. No, you're just some dude doing your job, and if you don't like the game, you don't like the game. But I mean, that I just don't see the big deal about that. Like how people, I have a friend who's the complete opposite though. If like IGN or Kotaku gives something a bad review, he will not touch it.
Yeah, I have a brother. My brother's like that.
I don't understand that mentality. That's just crazy.
And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the streets are saying, because like the streets can be talking like, man, this game is all that. This is the game. You better get this game. If it's hot fire. You better get it. And like how Zombie U, a lot of people trash that game, but like on the underground level, the streets are talking like, yo, this is a good game. It's not easy, but it's a good game. Or if you want a reason to get a Wii U, this is what you should get. But reviews were like so split on that. Some people are like, oh, I had my heart set on this game. I canceled my Wii U pre-order because of that game. The stupid reviews. And, I saved up money on my paper route to get that game. And, such and such said it, gave it a 5, so I don't want it anymore. No, if you want a game, buy the damn game. That's all. Buy it, trade it in.
You heard it here first, people. If you want a game, buy the damn game.
Yeah. So let me get this straight. And we can leave this after this. Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming out. IGN, I guess this is the damn IGN show right now, but IGN they gave the last GTA a 10, which I think was more like a 7. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't care for 4.
They gave it a 10. I think they buckled under the pressure personally. Yes, I'm talking about you, IGN. My thing is, say they give this one a 5. You know what I mean? Are you going to not buy GTA 5? Of course not. You buy Grand Theft Auto. Shame on you if you don't.
Shaming people into buying games. Mark.
Let's move on.
I'm supposed to tell an embarrassing story, and I thought about this over the weekend, and I don't know that I really have an embarrassing story, but I do have a story.
This is the internet. Lie.
Yeah.
Back in 2004, when World of Warcraft came out, I was really heavily into it, and I got into a raiding guild, which, for those of you that don't play MMOs, at the time, raids were 40 people getting together on a night to take down huge bosses.
Is this where that notorious Leroy Jenkins video came from?
Yes, it is.
Leroy!
I've never played the game, but a good friend of mine who's no longer with me, and it breaks my heart to even think about him right now, he showed me that video. And he was so elated when he showed me the video. You just gave me a good memory, so thank you.
Anyway, I was in a raiding guild, and for those that don't know, it takes a lot of coordination to take down those bosses, and one of the ways that players coordinate is through a voice program called Ventrilo. So when you have an MMO and you're playing with a group, you have to have Ventrilo so that you can talk to the people that you're playing with. Well, I had never talked to anyone on Vent when were leveling up our characters, and we were just doing random things. And when I finally got Vent, and I finally got a mic, and I keyed up, and I was like, hey guys, they're like, oh my god, Torath's a girl, and they just went crazy. Like, I didn't know that you were a girl. Like, the whole time, like 3 or 4 months, they assumed that I was a guy. So, that's my story. Like, it was crazy. They literally couldn't believe that I was a female playing a game.
It's like kind of like when PlayStation Home was in beta, and you like go through like the area and you walk around, and you see like 9 avatars standing around one female avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot like that because I wasn't expecting people to go crazy over me having been a female, but they did, and I don't know.
You drive them crazy, Ashley. That's what you do.
I thought it was a little bit silly. I mean, I wanted to be judged for my skill playing the game, not that I had a pair of,
lady parts.
So
lady parts.
Testicles.
Moving on to the games that we've been playing. How about you, Chris?
Games that we're playing. I'm still working on BioShock Infinite. I kind of put down, the Last of Us for a while. Never ended up beating it. I got pretty far in Last of Us, maybe about like halfway through. And then my girlfriend's brother used to come over, and he would play on his own account. And I actually saw a little bit of the ending, and then it kind of ruined that game for me. So now I'm trying to work on beating BioShock, which looks really, really good. But as far as mobile games go, I am playing Dots. There's a game for Android. I believe it's on iOS and everything else too, but a really simple connect the dots type game, or match 3 type of deal. Similar to like Candy Crush and stuff, but super minimal UI, and this looks so basic and silly, but it's so addicting and so much fun. So
I actually downloaded it and played it too. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's the perfect time waster on the toilet or waiting in line somewhere or just doing whatever. Just bust out the dots and start playing.
Playing dots while making dots, huh, Chris?
Playing dots while dropping dots.
Oh, you guys. So, Mark, we know that you've been playing Call of Duty Ghosts, but what else?
Yeah, play Call of Duty Ghosts. I have it here. No, I don't have it here. I played it last week. I picked up DuckTales Remastered from a Wii U. I downloaded that, and that game...
How are you liking it?
That game it's very nostalgic. It's very sweet. It makes me feel like a kid again, but then it makes me feel like an angry man.
He's got a tear rolling down his eye, and at the same time he's shaking his fist.
Is it hard?
Hell yeah. Extremely. Like, extremely hard. Like, you got to keep in mind, this is that NES era of gaming when there was no forgiveness, there was no leeway, there weren't checkpoints and save points everywhere. Let me tell you something. When you die, you spend your 3 men or whatever you want to call it, your 3 lives, that's it. You start over.
You start the level over again.
Yeah, you start the level over. And another thing I noticed, and I was wondering, like, maybe it's just the game, but no, platformers, the OG retro platformers, the button input, it's kind of like spacey. It's not as responsive. So like it's a two button move to get Scrooge to use the cane as a pogo stick to smash stuff. So you have to jump with one button and you pogo with the next to come down. So it's not like you just jump on stuff and land on it. You know what I mean?
Well, the NES controller did only have 2.
Yeah, exactly. No, but that's what I'm saying. It's literally based off of It's based off of a 2-button scheme, a controller that had 2 buttons. So the timing just feels off. It's not as responsive, and it's just brutally difficult at certain points. And some people.
Aside from all that, though, does it hits your spot for nostalgia?
Oh yeah. Aside from that, I'll confess. I have not cleared a single board on that damn game. I've played probably a total of maybe 2 hours, like spaced out. Like that's between running after my daughter. I have a 1-year-old at home, so that's between running after her, trying to stop her from like running, outside or whatever, and doing all that. But I have not cleared a level. I've gotten really close, and I've only got an extra life once. That's how evil that game is. But but when you strip all that away. The new graphics are gorgeous. They look great. The nostalgia's there. I grew up watching DuckTales. I would come home from school and put my backpack down and watched the Disney afternoon, and it was DuckTales. Woo! Yeah, I did that. So I used to.
Would you recommend the game for like casual gamers? Because my girlfriend, she's been wanting to download it, but when that game came out, she was still in the womb. She wasn't even a twinkle in her parents' eyes.
If you have an appreciation for that type of stuff, yes. But here's the thing: you use the term casual, it will be intimidating, I think. So it's pretty. If you and the voice acting is great. It feels like you're playing a game of the DuckTales TV show. It really does. But it'll be frustrating. But I mean, the game's $15. It's not a lot of money. I mean, I'm not trying. You're a baller like that, Chris. You got a PS4 pre-ordered and paid for. $15 isn't that much. Get her the game.
Well, to me, it's either it's that or Dragon's Crown. So I'm trying to sway her against that and just play Dragon's Crown instead.
No, get DuckTales. Get DuckTales. Be a pal. Get DuckTales. But
be a pal.
And I got one more game that I played last night for the first time in God knows how long. I turned my Vita on, updated it, had to charge it, updated it, and I downloaded the Killzone Mercenary beta. And it's pretty fun. I mean, it feels like a real shooter, a genuine first-person shooter on a handheld. I got about probably 40 minutes in on that, and it seems really cool. It's giving me hope that we're going to get a good game for the Vita that's not a recycled game. So, I'll play that some more, and hopefully the game itself will be worth buying.
Coolio. As for what I'm playing, Chris was playing BioShock Infinite, which I've already beaten, but if you follow gaming closely at all, you'll know that Irrational Games has announced their first story DLC for the game, which is called Burial at Sea.
Oh, yeah.
And that explores Rapture before it went crazy in the first game. So I've been replaying the original BioShock to try and get ready for that. I've also been playing Paper Mario Sticker Star on my new 3DS XL. Really enjoying that.
Think you're cool.
Sticker stars.
And
Sticker stars.
It's a competent game, so...
that was cool.
As I mentioned previously, I've got like an hour of the Bureau XCOM Declassified, and I've enjoyed what I played so far. I don't have an opinion yet as to the mediocre reviews that it's gotten.
How does it play? I mean, just gameplay wise,
it plays a lot like Mass Effect. It's a shooty game, but you can stop in the middle and give your squad orders, tell them where to go, tell
that
them
sounds cool.
what to do.
Pew, pew.
It's really neat.
You say shooty, I just pew, pew, pew.
And it's set in the 60s era of Cold War and alien invasions and all that Roswell craziness, so the setting is interesting, the gameplay is interesting. I'm eager to see where it goes when I can get more time to play it. I also got Splinter Cell Blacklist for Wii U that just landed on my doorstep today. Haven't played it, excited to play it, do a review for the site, so look forward to that.
Whatever you do, be sure to slam that game for not having Micro Ironstein back. just I don't care if you...
this game gets a 3, no Michael Ironstein.
Because everybody cares about reviews, so just make sure you slam people. Slam them for that, so...
So, if you've made it this far, I want to thank you for listening and tell you that if you want to give us an email, you can at podcast@gamefans.com. You can send us any of your comments, suggestions, even tell us you hate us. I mean, you probably shouldn't do that because that makes you a bad person.
I think that's a crime in some states and countries, too.
Yeah, I think
you can also subscribe on iTunes, and all three of us are on Twitter. I'm at Overlord Roar.
I am at Mr. Hearn. Mr. is spelled out, Mister, Hearn.
And I am at GamerCore. Just regular old GamerCore.
Good old Chris Chavez filling in for when other people can't make it. Thank you, Chris.
Happy Gamescom.
Have a happy Gamescom. Bye.
Happy next gen.
Happy next gen. There you go. That's great.